A Florida man called into Georgia and said, I need 11,870 votes.
Look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
No, I want you to think about that. Georgia, Donald Trump tried to steal your vote. Kamala Harris is trying to earn your vote.
Lock up the real criminals like Donald Trump. Lock up the real criminals. Michelle and Carlos, mother and son, who I met when I was in Atlanta, told me about how weird was a side effect of awesome. I believe the last time I checked, they were in New Orleans now. But they told me where's the side effect of awesome. Back then, I was training for the Olympic qualifiers boxing. I wanted to be able to be on that stage in Rio at the time, Rio de Janeiro. I trained to go to Tokyo too. I was trying to get into the trials. I fought in the qualifiers. They called it Pathway to Glory. Didn't make it through. It wasn't good enough to make it through. I got knocked out in the Olympic qualifiers 2 times. This is amateur boxing without a headgear before I turned professional. This is unpaid. This is training that I had to get donations for. I had to get folks to help me travel to get around. I had to fundraise. I had to get support from people that were believers in me, maybe. God, definitely. Believers in maybe just good causes. Maybe they weren't believers in the Almighty, but they were believers in doing something right to help somebody who had a just cause, a just mission. At the same time, I was trying to be an activist and protest different unjust practices and wrongs that I recognized in my community. And I was doing art. I made the Black Lives Matter coloring book with great war heroes of the freedom struggle, Dr. King, activists and abolitionists, and people that were casualties of this system of mass incarceration, this unjust policing system, this evil, really. There are victims of oppression whose names we haven't said, whose names we don't know still. Some of the ones whose names did become hashtags, did become news articles, I included in a coloring book that I made called The Original. The title of the sermon was Finding a Way to Get In. The church should not be exclusive, especially when you think about communion. The church should be inviting to all. The Olympics has embraced that thinking. This is why you can't, and the world has embraced this thinking. This is why folks like me get in trouble if we say that a man shouldn't be in the ring with a woman, boxing against a woman, a vulnerable young lady who has trained to fight women, not other gender people, not men. She didn't train for that. She shouldn't be forced to now explain herself or explain what she has done. She didn't train for that. She didn't go to school for sociology and psychology and sexuality. She didn't go to school for any of that. So I don't think, she may have. I don't know her education, but I know that she trained hard to box. I know that she went out there to compete against other women. And I know that this person from Algeria is not a woman. And I know that people all over this planet now are raising their children like other sexes, not the ones they're born as. And they're putting them on pills, hormones, and these people that are being raised by these people that are okay with this gender splicing, this hybrid mentality. They call their children them, and they don't want them to be a binary. They don't want them to be boys or girls. They're responsible. They don't have a basis in anything that is factual, that's real, that is what has always been. God is the same now as he will be forever. God has always been. And my thoughts are mine. These thoughts aren't from Ebenezer Baptist Church or any Baptist church that maybe they are, I don't know. Maybe my thoughts are from the church. I didn't grow up in the church though. My mom didn't take me to church. My mom, I talk a little bit about my mom in a video that I'll share with you in the comments or in the description. I have a informed perspective. I'll leave it at that. It's an informed. Reverend Warnock talked about Ruby Bridges, integrating that school in New Orleans. Some people might not have knew that Ruby Bridges integrated a school in New Orleans, Louisiana. And he said that she recounts believing that the noise from the agitators, from the people that didn't want her there, the angry mob that yelled and screamed for a young black girl, a 5-year-old girl going to kindergarten, integrating to school, shouldn't be there. Said that Ruby Bridges said that she thought it was Mardi Gras. She didn't know that these were angry people. She had her own peace, her own resolve that was instilled in her. That's beautiful. Black Lives Matter coloring book for adults and advanced adolescents. And I went all around giving that book away for free. And some people recognize that I didn't have the ability to print the books out for free until I formed partnerships, relationships with folks that did in-kind printing, organizations, corporations that helped to get the books printed out at no cost to me. Folks like Delmarva Power, Exelon Corporation. This is an energy corporation, billion-dollar corporation. I had some help. People that donated money, some they thought they were buying the books. They weren't buying the books. They were buying the mission. They were helping to propel those gifts, those pieces of literature, those pieces of art, those pieces of hope that I was able to go with to different places and really use as a vehicle to share a message of hope and inspiration. Black lives do matter. Black lives did matter. Black lives always will matter. And black wives matter too. And black husbands matter. Black people matter. Black families matter. Black children matter. As black men, we must protect the black woman and the black child and the white woman and the white child as well. We have to protect this whole planet that we steward, that we should steward well. We have to protect our environment. When he preached about being on Air Force Two with her, and how he recognized that she wouldn't be there without Dr. King and without Fannie Lou Hamer. She wouldn't be there without Mahalia Jackson. Just tell him about the dream, Martin. She wouldn't be there without all the freedom fighters, all the foot soldiers who I've written about, who I've drawn pictures of over the years. She wouldn't be there. Geese fly in a V, and so do ducks, right? Not all of them, not all of them. Some of them are domesticated. They don't fly anywhere. They don't fly to the north. They don't fly to Canada. They don't fly in V's. They don't migrate. They just stay around. They're lazy. Did you know that? Swans don't all migrate, but they're all pretty. So that's the excuse. That's why they can just lie there. Swans are pretty, so they can get away with a lot. When it's a nice looking wrapper, when it's a nice looking package, when everything on the outside looks nice and sounds nice, we think that it is what we feel like it is, what we're made to believe it is, we get bamboozled. We get hog-tied, twisted, we get turned upside down, and we get Kamala Harris.
Sorry, hoes hate me cause I'm the it girl. I ain't never asked to be the shit girl. Don't call me sis cause I'm not your sister. Really need to come and get your mister. Seeing all my ops linked up in a picture. Everybody look busted, injured. Like my page, bitch probably want a scissor.
Weird. This is what's weird about me. How many of you are excited, elated? How many of you feel good when you receive a summons to appear in court? Not to appear in front of the judge. I don't think anybody feels good about that. Not subpoena, but for jury duty. When you receive that mail that says that you need to come in for... That's exciting. You know why? Because I was a felon. Not just was, but if you ask some people, they'll say I still am. They'll say that's all I am. A felon. This is like a ghost story. This is a little light bulb that I got here in front of me. A little light. I'm sorry about the lighting. But a person with a felony conviction, a man, a woman, all people with felony convictions, try and get this light right. We ain't supposed to serve on no jury, depending on where you at. We ain't supposed to vote. So when I get a letter, for me to appear on a jury, it means something. Jury duty is a good thing for me. Makes me feel good, and that's weird. And I'll tell you the story. When I got the first letter to appear on a jury, I went, but I had to go to tell them that it wasn't something I was going to be able to do. I could not commit to being there because I was in a training that was unpaid with the port. I was a longshoreman. I'm a retired stevedore. I'm a retired portman, or a stevedore loader, not a stevedore, but a longshoreman. I was learning how to drive those trucks to pull those big 40-foot containers. And this training that Port of Wilmington offers is unpaid. And it's a week long, actually 2 week long. And if you have to do it more than once, which many people did because a lot of folks got failed, including me, so I had to do it over again and be unpaid all day. And you're doing it for the hope that you're gonna get this better opportunity later on. You're gonna be able to work these hours and make this money. It's gonna change your life. But the folks that were facilitating the training, some of them have passed on now. I'm getting older, even though it was a couple years ago, not very long ago. Some of the trainers are no longer with us. One of the facilitators put hands on me. Yeah, like grabbed me, pushed me. I had to go to court. Well, I had to go and talk to a lawyer about it. I had to pay the lawyer just for that conversation, that consultation. The lawyer charged me. That was a scheme, that was a scam. The good are always taken advantage of. People go to law school to learn how to take advantage of people. That's another reason why I'm not voting for Kamala Harris, a prosecutor. More of the same. I won't vote for Kamala Harris. I would never vote for Kamala Harris. But I wanted to be on a jury because I was locked up, because they told me I was a felon, because I never thought that would happen. Just like when Obama won and I was in the hole, and they told us through the intercom that Obama won, and that would have been the first election I would have been able to vote in. But I couldn't vote because I was in the hole, because I was locked up, and I hadn't even been to court yet. I hadn't even been proven guilty of a crime. My Sixth Amendment right was violated. I was locked up for 10 months without being proven guilty of anything. It was just so overpacked. The jail / prison, Howard R. Young here in Wilmington, had so many people that they keep locked up, especially back then, 2008, that I didn't get the court to be proven innocent, guilty, to be allowed to go home, to be sentenced, whatever the outcome would be. I didn't get there until 10 months after I was locked up. And in those 10 months, I missed my 21st birthday, and the first presidential election that I would have been able to vote in, that if I were free, I probably wouldn't have voted in anyway. And that's an honest statement. I probably, if I were free, if I didn't get locked up, would have been still doing what I was doing and got locked up after that. Locked up eventually. I did learn from that situation. I am contrite for what I did. I am penitent. I did recognize my guilt immediately. I always knew that I was wrong. So I'm weird, because when I get a letter that says I got to report for jury duty, I actually want to go, because when I got that first letter to go, I couldn't commit because I was doing the training at the port to drive the big containers, those 40-foot containers, to park them, to be able to get all those hours down there and be a slave to GT, Gulf Tanker, Port of Wilmington. I really wanted to be one of those slaves making all that money. I'm not going to say that people ain't put their kids through school. I'm not going to say that people ain't paid mortgages on houses. I'm not going to say that people ain't bought massive properties, whole lot of toys, whole lot of bikes, whole lot of fun, whole lot of vacations, able to spend money on what you want, but you're still a slave. I'm not trying to be nobody's slave. I'm not going to do it. So, they say a pig can get his hair cut, a pig can change its suit, it can wear a uniform, a pig can get a fat paycheck, a pig can be respected here and there, a pig could have all that honor, all those accolades, a pig can do this and that, but at the end of the day, a pig is still bacon. And at the beginning of the day, in the morning, a pig is still bacon. I listen to all that pork that Senator Warnock said about Kamala Harris down there in Atlanta. I listen to all that. The word he shared this morning, though, this morning, August 4th. I'm not going to start preaching. I got to put on a tie. Now, he wasn't wearing a tie. I don't have to have a tie, but I should have a shirt on at least. I'm going to put my shirt on. Should be buttoned, right? So he had black on. Senator Warnock had black on today. This ain't no impersonation. I can't do no impersonation of that, man. It's too many years that he done spent Morehouse and everywhere else. Down there in DC now, that's an education in itself. Down there in Congress. One of his Senate colleagues was there from Ohio today. The senior senator from Ohio. Not J.D. Vance. The other guy from Ohio. And his wife. They were there today. Down in Atlanta at Ebenezer. I'm a member of Ebenezer everywhere for now. If they'll still have me. This is not an attack on him. I joined that church. He didn't preach the day that I joined. The day that I joined, the preacher was from the synagogue in Atlanta known as Temple ATL, Temple Atlanta. Rabbi Bird. I joined. I'm not gonna give his sermon, but it was insightful, and I do have some notes on what he said that day. But today, of course, I took notes. YouTube and EbenezerATL.org. You can look at the live sermon. You can look at the video and you can listen. The word, I say I took notes and I just go from memory. The word was from Luke 5. Luke 5, I believe 17, right? Yes, Luke 5:17. And this is when this group of individuals, this community of believers They want to get the paraplegic man that they're trying to help, that they're trying to save, into this house. I'm going to call it a house of God, that they know Jesus is in, performing miracles, healing, like he did, like he does, like they knew he was capable of. They knew that the miracle maker was inside this building, and they wanted to get this paraplegic man inside of this building so that he could be healed. But they had to get around everybody that was inside and outside and trying to get in. They went through the roof. They was from the hood, Reverend Warnock said, Senator Warnock said. It was from the hood, so they used the fire escape. They shimmied up that joint and they lowered this paraplegic man through the roof. Jesus told the man who was sick and on his gurney, on his mat, that he has been forgiven of his sins and he is healed. That's all he needed. Stain your teeth. So use one of these. Straight down the tube instead of swishing around so that your teeth become brown. That's a hack. That's a fact. Keep on drinking this coffee. Keep on smoking these cigarettes. Keep on drinking this soda, this dark soda, this Coca-Cola, this Pepsi. That's why your teeth yellow. Only white pants I got is shorts. I got white styrofoam cups with coffee in them. There's coffee. See the straw. It's not purple. I don't advocate for that. We don't endorse that. No kidney stones, no death, no evil, no sin, no toxins, no alien substances. Not in this temple. All white in the form of all clean, that's what I mean. All cleansed. I don't like that song, White as Snow, that they sing in the church. I don't like that in a black church. That ain't right. I ain't never feel that was right. When I heard them singing that, I ain't never sing that. I don't like the white crackers that we eat on communion. I don't like that. I think we should have graham crackers. I wrote about that in my book, Keep Up the Good Fight. It sounds silly, but it's serious. It's real. The bride wears white at the wedding, but we know she ain't pure. Husband wears a white shirt like the shirt I just showed you. That's for sure. My name is Devon, and it means poet. Devin means poet. I looked that up. There's got to be meaning in everything. I got white teeth. I'm white, somewhat. That's why I use this straw, because I got LED whitening one time. I don't have no white pants. I just got these. As far as shirts go, I got a lot of these. Hey, wait. I got white do-rags. I got white socks. I got a white loafer. They need to be cleaned though.
Young folk these days come up to me, Brother West, I'm trying to find out what my brand is. Your brand, you better find out what your cause is. Oh, I need to have a brand. Everybody told me I got to, yeah, You just marketized, commodified, commercialized all the way down in mind, heart, soul, and body in such a way that to be human is to have a brand. And of course, I come from a people who they put brands on our bodies on those slave ships as we confronted those slave auctions. So I'm not a brand kind of brother at all. Well, your brand is actually X. That's what you say. Yeah, you put on your black suit all the time. No, that's my cemetery clothes. I'm coffin ready for giving it all for people who are suffering. That ain't no brand at all. That's tied to a cause.